What's up guys, Nakhshon here. As you may know, I've already reacted to the knees of a toast guy about his hamstring bulletproofing video, and I think I didn't really do a very good job because I didn't dive into the professional point of view of things, of why specific exercises work and why others may not, and I didn't give my professional point of view so much, and I had this automatic response to his, I would say, vibe. And trying to put on my impressed glasses because I felt like I was being marketed to like very heavily, which isn't really a problem, and I think I should have been more neutral in that sense, and I should dive more into the details of the exercises, and that was a mistake by my side. Anyway, some of you guys reacted to that video and said that you would like to hear about my response to his knee bulletproofing video, which is what I'm doing now. I think it would be interesting. So yeah, let's get into it.
Zero, we progressed from front foot elevated and assisted to flat ground, unassisted.
Nice, nice. So when we talk about knee bulletproofing or any joint bulletproofing, what we usually talk about is end range motion, because that's where most injuries happen. We don't usually talk about mid-range strength, although it is obviously necessary, but that's not very unique. It's not a unique type of workout, of setting up exercises. So that's the way we usually go about it, about developing strength at the end of the range of the motion. Especially with the knee, the most problematic angle is the complete flexion angle, because that's when the kneecap has the most pressure on the bones beneath it, and that can create a lot of pain and a lot of tension on the joint. So that's usually the most risky angle of the knee. So before we dive deeper into the actual exercise, which is like his all-time favorite exercise, which is the split squat, from what I can see, which is an amazing exercise, I think it's important to understand that we want to develop some strength at the end of the range of the motion in order to bulletproof a joint. The injuries happen when we get to that range of motion by accident. And if you have strength at these ranges of motion, your body can react to it and stop the movement instead of being injured. So yeah, that's for bulletproofing. It's also very relevant for rehabbing a joint, but it has a subtlety to it. It's a bit different. But anyway, from what he says right now, the split squat is an amazing exercise because it places a lot of load forward on the knee in a very, I would say, risky position if you don't develop it right. But if you do develop it right, which I think is what he talks about, you can have strength at that end of the range of motion, and that can really help to support and protect your knee from injuries. So yeah, so far seems good. He's even lifting his heels, which is even creating more tension forward, more load forward, and that's a lot harder.
Then in dense, we progressed from dumbbell loading to bar on back.
Nice.
Now in standards, we're progressing to bar on front.
So I'm guessing when he says standards, he means like there are different levels to his workout plans. So I'm guessing standards mean like the highest level or higher level than before. But yeah, this is impressive. Using weight at these ranges of motion is very advanced and will definitely help to bulletproof your knee. Yeah.
Which requires the most mobility of all.
Yeah. So you can see that his ankle is extremely flexible at this range of motion. His knee is way over his toes, and you can see that he's in his foot is really flexed, doriflexed, and for that you need a lot of mobility, a lot of flexibility in your ankle. Yeah, that's impressive and very, very hard to do. Having strength in this position is really good.
Your suggested tendon bathing is 2 sets per leg of 5 by 5 bottom quarter reps. So you go 1, 2, 3, 4, and then on the 5th one, come up. That's a rep. So you do 5 of these bottom quarter 5 reppers. Take a 30-second break, switch sides. It's okay if the heel comes up. Throughout this entire process, it's actually loading the ATG split squat that
Okay, yeah, it's true. So when you want to warm up, you obviously want to warm up the area so that you have more elasticity in the muscles and in the ankle area, which is really important. Yeah, seems nice. Although he's calling it ATG split squat, I don't see nothing against the guy. I just don't see anything different than a normal split squat. And when I say normal, because I come from a movement training background, I'm already familiar with this exercise, and I'm also familiar with loading this position. I think Ido had a post about it like a long time ago, and I saw it, so I'm a bit familiar with this position, but I don't see anything very different from what I'm used to see. But it's an amazing exercise for sure.
I found to be the #1 way of transforming your ankle mobility. So you just focus in the warm-up on that hamstring covering the calf.
Yeah.
Let the weight gradually work on that ankle mobility. After your 2 sets of 5x5 with 30-second breaks, we have 12 levels of measurable loading. The only optional level is the first level of body weight only, but don't discount this because there's different goals. And in the ATG system, for world-class longevity, just being able to get and achieve a perfect flat ground split squat till the day you die is gonna put you in a super elite category.
Yeah.
And once you get to the loading levels, it becomes imperative to send your form from a side angle and not to run from the range, but to embrace it. Flex your front tibialis, flex your back glutes to...
Yeah, okay, so the tibialis is the main muscle we use for dorsiflexion, which is if this is the if this is your leg and this is your foot, then dorsiflexion is doing this. And when you activate that muscle, it just gets it closer, which is what you see happening. So yeah, in the army this is called the journey muscle, because when you do a lot of walks, I don't know the English word for that, but when you're loaded with all of your gear and everything, and then you walk with how do you call it? You walk with stretchers and with a friend of yours on it, with a teammate on it. When you do that, you use this muscle so much. When you first start, you're crying because it's so painful, because you're not used to activating this muscle. So I'm very familiar with it. Yeah.
Put the load on the front leg. Your body doesn't know the load on the bar. It only knows the load on the muscle and bar on front. You can ditch right out of this. This is the gift that keeps on giving. This is the secret to the ankle mobility and the hip flexor length. It's the perfect marriage of internal and external gains. While others start running from their range, you embrace your range and you gain strength and range simultaneously, and you get down to muscle fibers that most people will never touch in their life because they avoid that range. So we can...
Okay. A bit of marketing fluff right there, but he has points there that are definitely right. So most people, I would say, especially at the fitness industry, in the movement world, I don't know, it's just because of where my background, of where I come from. Yeah, you see this range of motion being used a lot. We use this range of motion is called the low gate, where you raise your heel. So I'm used to it, but in the fitness world, from what I see, there's like an unspoken rule, which was not to pass your toes with your knee, which is what this guy is all about. But a lot of people are very afraid of being in that range of motion, and it's really, really important to be there if you want to bulletproof your knee. And it definitely helps for that, like this specific exercise. Obviously he exaggerates his movements, and dropping the weight seems a bit like risky because you can maybe twist yourself, which can be dangerous. But besides that, yeah, it's an amazing exercise for sure, because it creates mobility and strength at the same time, which is good.
Safely build it. And guess what? I'm not at the standard. The best athletes I've ever trained can do 100% of body weight, perfect form, 6 reps. I can only do about 80% of my body weight. So
I don't get where he's taking the body percentage, the body weight percentage as a standard for what's good and what's bad. Yes, I think it's something that he set up. If he has any researches or whatever that he's basing this standard on, I would love to see it. But I don't know if 100% body weight is like the way to go. If overly loading this position is very smart or good, I don't know. Usually everything you overly do is not smart. You always want to balance things. Even not loading this position at all and just using your body weight is amazing for general bulletproofing, for general knee bulletproofing. But if you visit this range of motion a lot because that's what you do in life, then sure, loading it can be relevant. I think I saw some videos of his where he plays basketball and he jumps really high. That can be maybe relevant, although you don't really go as low when you do basketball. But just having it as a backup for if and whenever he will meet this range of motion, then he can bulletproof that area and he won't get injured. That could be smart. But having a 100% body weight as a standard, I don't know.
that's the beauty of the standards program as a whole, is that you can calculate for your entire body, where do you still have room to grow? So as great of a transformation as I've made, I still have room to grow. And guess what? This same path, my mom just has to maintain body weight in this movement, and that gives her elite longevity. So anyone can do zero, anyone can do dense, and anyone can do standards, and no matter.
The problem I had, I think, the first video was that he was saying zero, dense, and what's the last one? Standards. I had no idea that he was talking about levels of his program, which I think is what he's referring to. Yeah, you can see his mom doing it, which is amazing, amazing. Like being able to go through that range of motion at that age. Amazing, really good. But again, I don't understand why 100% body weight is the golden standard to go by, as if you can't do 100%, you have more room to grow. I don't know. I think it's very random for me. I don't know, but I can agree that lifting more can build more strength. That I can agree with. More than that, not so much. But I can definitely say that what he's promoting is really good. I think working on end range strength is an amazing thing. I usually see, I'm familiar with it from the movement world. We use it a lot, and I really love that there's someone who's taking it and just focusing on that, especially for the knees. I myself had, and I'm still going through some knee injury from a few years back that came back. And what he's talking about is definitely gold. Like, I think I'm really happy that this guy exists. The way he delivers the message, I think, is a bit too squeezed into like, do this because then you'll be the best. You know, it's very marketing type of word choosing, which is, for me at least, I would love if he could break down things a bit more and talk about why, or what are the researches, because I think he has more videos where he talks about some researches about doing this position will help you avoid this, this, and this. I would really love to hear about that. But so far, he's doing a very good job, so yeah.
How elite you are, you can still find where you have more untapped potential.
Okay. So yeah, that's the that's the end of his video. From what I see with this video, it's good. Like the split squat is definitely like a very good exercise for knee bulletproofing, because you go through the entire range of motion of the knee and you develop strength there, especially at the most dangerous and difficult range of motion of the knee, which is being completely flexed. Having strength there is amazing, but I I'm sure he goes over it in his program, but if you just see this video, don't ever, especially when you work on end range motions, don't ever try to push yourself too much too soon, because this is something you definitely have to be very patient about. You can't do it fast. This type of strength work is hard, and you're not only strengthening your muscles, you're also strengthening your ligaments, which really help to prevent injuries, and that takes a lot more time than developing strength and density in your muscles. So anyway, be careful with this type of training, of exercises, but I really love his message and what he promotes. The type of exercises he talks about are gold from my experience and from what I've learned so far in my experience. Yeah, so I appreciate it a lot. Let me know what you think about this video in the comments. Do you agree with me? Do you think he's amazing or not, or whatever? If there are any other videos of his you want me to react to, let me know down in the comments, or other people's videos, because I think there are a lot more interesting people than just him, although he is definitely interesting. Don't forget to subscribe and like this video if you can. It would really help me to increase the size of our community here on YouTube. My goal is to share the movement world with more people, because I think it's very exclusive, that world, and not a lot of people have the knowledge that I'm very privileged to have, because I've been in this world for 6 years now. So that's my goal with this YouTube channel, and I really want to spread it to more people. So if you can like and subscribe, would really help me with that. Anyway, have a good week, day, whatever. Peace.